Hey, welcome back to the channel, and thank you for all the views, everybody subscribing, all the comments, all the questions. I love it when you guys have questions. I love helping everybody out, and I love taking advice as well. So I just wanted to step in here and do a quick video on a couple of projects that we're kind of getting to the finish line on, that are close, and then a couple of them that are right in between. And it just shows good progress and different steps of each project that we've got going on. So let's flip around like usual and take a look. So this is the 40-foot Ivory High Cube one trip. And if you don't know it, or I haven't mentioned it for a while, the 40-foot Ivory, 40-foot new one trip, and this goes for used as well, they're pretty much all high cube anymore. And a high cube is 9 feet, 6 inches tall. For whatever reason, a couple years ago, the 40-foot standard height, which is 8 foot 6 inches tall, which is the same height as 90% of your 20-foot, kind of got phased out. So they're pretty much high cubes at this point. So this is a 40-foot high cube Ivory. This is one that we're putting a deck on and stairs. And you can see one of the handrails sitting here. So we're to the point, we're probably gonna wrap this up tomorrow, actually. So what we've got left, we've got the deck on top. The customer wanted to install their own deck boards, so we're gonna let them do that. It was kind of I wouldn't say it's easy to put the deck boards on, but we got them close to the finish line. They wanted to feel like they had a personal touch on it. We don't mind doing stuff like that. We've got them set up, and it helped us get it out of here just that much quicker. So when you're climbing when you make a set of stairs, we like to do them on the end. If they're on the side, it makes it a wide load, which is a lot more money to freight the container anywhere. This one's going about 100 miles away from us, so the stairs go on the end. So then your debate comes, do you hang the stairs off at all? Because you've got a few inches that you can hang off the side, because this is 8 feet 6 inches is a legal load. We could hang off 3, 4, 5 inches and be okay. Or do you make this flush? And then how big a landing do you do? So this is your landing right here, and we went with 24 inches. So at 24 inches, you make your steps a little steeper. At 18 inches, you make a little bit more of a sketchy landing, and your steps aren't quite as steep. And if you just did, let's say a 8 or 10 inch landing, your steps are just a little less steep, but your landing for people to get turned around is getting a little weird, awkward. So we go for, on this, because the clientele, we know who's going to be using this, 24 inches, made our steps a little bit steeper, and we're going to call these a ship step. And we're using it's not cedar, but it's got a cedar tone to it, and these are all treated boards here, and this is 24 inches wide. They wanted a little bit more of a narrow staircase just for cost and everything. And a 24 is fine because you don't have double traffic like an airport or whatever going up and down a shipping container. It's just one person at a time. So 24 inches is just fine. So we've got the steps cut. You can see here, the steps will screw into these 2x2 tubes, and it will 3D print little caps that go in here, and you can get those caps on Amazon as well. And that covers where your screws are hidden. If you just use angle here, you're gonna have screws sticking out. You could cut those off or just leave them hanging. It's kind of annoying looking to me, so I like to cover all that up. You can kind of see our finished welds on everything. I talk about quality a lot, but I just look for perfection in everything we do. So as we go up here, and these are 2x6 stringers, see kind of the landing here. So we've got the handrails to put on the side. Those are all built. I'll show those to you. Here's the deck. And this is a 20-foot deck. And it came out to just under 20 feet. So if they put another container on top, which is what I heard they're doing, they've got about an inch or so to work with. So we didn't want that deck just right up snug to the other container. There's no reason to get it that tight. You can see the receptacles here for this end handrail. This handrail would not fold in because our side handrails fold in, so it would be wonky laying on top of the other ones. And if it folded this way, it'd be laying on the steps and getting scratched. So we just made it removable, and it's small and light, so that's no big deal to pick up and put in. And you can see the barrel hinges on our side rails. So the side rails fold in, and that end handrail folds out for shipping. And we need to fold handrails down when the deck is welded to the top of the container for shipping. You can't be over 11 or 12 feet high, because when you get on the trailer, which is 3 feet high minimum, you're over 14 feet, so it turns into an over height load. So you're always trying to engineer everything to avoid over width and over height to make the freight affordable for the customer when you can. This container has a 36 by 36 window. We've yet to seal the sides here, but you can see the fitment on the frame. That's exactly what we're looking for. Everything plumb, square, on the money. Here's the little handrail that goes in on the top there. And then here's the walk door. And that does have a deadbolt. Stainless hinges, and those are spring hinges, so we can adjust them to automatically close the door. I don't like to use door closers up there if we can avoid it. So you can see all the seals around there. And then we've got a cinch seal here on the bottom. And my favorite thing about this particular brand of cinch seal is this drip rail. Water's kind of sticky, so if rain is coming in sideways and hitting the door, it can follow around, and actually it tries to get through this seal or through the corners any way possible. So if we can shed that water off, it's all the better. So this little drip rail right here is awesome, and that's incorporated into this cinch seal. So here is the handrail for the stairs. That's removable. And this thing's actually really sturdy. We did it out of 1x1. The rest, a lot of the deck rails are 2x2 with 1x1s in between. But here's how we are going to attach the handrail. We've actually got inserts in there, so there's no hokey nuts and all that stuff floating around. So it'll be a really clean, nice install when we get done. And so we've got that handrail that goes around the landing, which is a 90-degree handrail, about wrapped up, and it is right here. So you can kind of see how that works. So there's these decks and stairs kind of seem simple on the face, but it's a lot of fabrication, a lot of pre-planning. Each one's kind of different based on what the customer wants, and so on, etc. So like I said, paint, you can never underestimate painting and priming everything. We use a direct metal primer, and then we paint, and it's usually 2 coats on top of the primer, so it's like 3 coats of paint. We do not want rust popping through later. Painting takes forever. It's the most underestimated part of everything we do is painting. There's just so much painting and sanding. And just when you install a window, you cut the corrugation and then you flap disc where you're going to be welding. Well, you get a lot of burn spots and low spots in the paint that you took off. So you've got to prime this, sand it, and then come back and roll it and get it to blend. And I think we've done a pretty nice job here. Back into the ivory paint job of the container, which is sort of a satin paint. Satin's a little bit of a sheen to it. But the containers are painted satin from the factory, and of course in the ocean or wherever they fade a little bit. And so we do satin and add a little water to it. But just, you know, painting is so labor intensive and so many hours of painting. I mean, you can imagine painting just this handrail here. I mean, this is a couple hours of work just to prime and paint this handrail. So that's this container project here. Let me know if you guys got any thoughts or questions. I guess this is going to be a hunting cabin down the road. It's going out on a farm. They're going to stack a 20 on top. They've got the stairs here, and then they're going to finish this out and then use that in for storage. So pretty cool, and I hope to do a lot more of these in the future.